Christina is solving the equation tangent of x equals 3 over 7. That's interesting, she says. Since tangent is equal to sine over cosine, this must mean that sine is equal to 3 and cosine is equal to 7. But that's impossible. First question is, why is it impossible? And to answer that question, we got to think about the unit circle, right? Where we all have kind of agreed or hopefully learned that when we're talking about sine and cosine on the unit circle, if we're talking about cosine of an angle, right, we put in an angle here, we get the cosine, which is the x value on the unit circle. But here's the deal is that like when you do sine or cosine of a value, these x and y values on the unit circle, they only go from -1 to +1. That's the idea of the unit circle. And so really, whenever you plug into a calculator sine of something or cosine of something, you should be getting an answer between -1 and +1, or we've done something wrong. And so when we're going through this here, what we should really pay attention to is like not the fact that sine is equal to 3 and cosine is equal to 7, but that's just like the ratio that represents tangent, right? So for example, if we're thinking of it in terms of a triangle, we have this ratio where the opposite side is 3, the adjacent side is 7. That doesn't mean sine of x is 3, but what it does mean is that there's a ratio that represents this same situation that lands on the unit circle, which again, unit circle might be like right here. So it's really talking about like this triangle, not this full purple triangle. So again, as we go through this problem, just understand that like it's the sine and cosine always kind of represent a ratio that our hypotenuse is equal to 1. So let's go ahead and go through and actually solve for this. It says solve for x if x is between 0 and 2 pi. So make sure if you're going to use your calculator for this one here that your calculator is in radians, because we're going to solve for an answer in radians since it's between 0 and 2 pi. So when we do this, if we talk about this situation right here where the opposite side is 3, the adjacent side is 7, I'm going to just go ahead and represent that on a calculator. Tangent of x equals 3 over 7. I want to get this x by itself, so I'm going to take the inverse tangent of both sides. And when I plug that into a calculator, making sure it's in radians, I get this fraction or this decimal here, 0.405. And that is the angle that gives me a tangent of 3 over 7. The issue is that on the unit circle, there's actually 2 spots between 0 and 2 pi that give me that, because if we kind of continue this line here, there's this other side where this is 3 here, and this is 7 here, and it gives me the same tangent. And so in this one here, I really need to find this total angle as well, which like it's a straight line here. So really like I take this angle that I got 0.405, and if I just add pi, or 180 degrees, plus pi, then that'll give me that second angle that creates the same tangent. And so that if we add 3.14-ish, we get 3.546. And so these are the 2 answers that we get, because again, if you remember looking back at C, it says solve for all the x values between 0 and 2 pi. And so we have the first one here, which is 0.405, and then the second one here, which is 3.546.